Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Games Industry Executive Summary. This is Casey with you again. Of course, before we start, please hit bells, whistles, subscribe, follow, all these things. We would really appreciate it. Go to guysweekly.substack.com to be one of 1,700 industry professionals, executives, CEOs, different people that make decisions, hopefully. And you'll get that newsletter every Friday morning, 9 a.m., wherever you are in the world, delivered right to your mailbox for free. With that being said, I will welcome my friends, the Dashing Dave Fear.
It's me. Hello.
Hello. Welcome on board, Dave. And of course, I wouldn't call you the Godfather anymore. The analyst is back.
Yes.
Manu Rosier.
Hello.
He's back.
Hello, gentlemen. Guys, welcome. Manu, we haven't seen you for a week, so we are happy to have you back.
Yeah.
We haven't, but I saw Manu as a human being.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Which is very exciting.
And the pizzas and stuff.
Yes, they had delicious pizza. Yeah.
Amazing pizza. Yes.
Cool. Gentlemen, it's time to guess the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
New rules, Dave. Thanks to you.
Yeah.
You cannot guess the game until I finish. Okay? And you will both have equal opportunity to guess the game. Okay? What else? Was there anything else I wanted to put as a rule? No, that's it. That's basically it. And then also today, we have games from my library. Okay? So we are looking at, just to give you, we have PS2, PS3, and PS4 games.
Okay. All right. That's a good long range.
Maybe we'll start with the PS2 game first.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
Okay. From the director-producer of Metal Gear Solid comes this story of a young boy trying to come to terms with his fear of death and loathing of killing. Only by facing... I'm laughing because this is pretty funny. I don't know. Dave, what do you think? Only by facing his fears will he survive and realize his destiny. You are Leo. Take control and pilot a giant orbital frame using onboard computer Ada. Battle giant mechs in this fast and furious 3D action game.
Oh shit! What is it called? It was the one that had the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo on the disc.
Yeah, I can.
Is Kojima? Is it from Kojima?
It is.
Definitely. I mean, I can picture it in my head. What is it called?
I only know games from Kojima.
Which ones do you know, Manu?
I know Death Stranding and Metal Gear Solid, that's all. That for me, Kojima doesn't do anything else, but apparently, yes.
Prior, to this period, he had a pretty big catalog of games that people have never played, by the way, which is pretty interesting in its own right.
I think it shows that sometimes you need to fail many times before you...
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I definitely remember this game because, again, most people bought it because it had a Metal Gear Solid 2 demo of the tanker section.
That is the Metal Gear Solid demo right there.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember the name. I can't.
Okay. None of you can take this one on, huh? It's not played by many, but it's called Zone of the Enders.
Zone of the Enders. Oh. That was it. Yeah.
That is the one, my friends.
It was cool. I remember the mechs were like kind of lithe and very mobile, which was not the way we had generally played as mechs before.
Okay. Then I'll move over to the next game. Okay, my friends. From the makers of Civilization comes a game about civilization's last stand. You are our last hope. As the commander of an elite paramilitary organization known as X, you control the Earth's defenses against a terrifying alien invasion.
XCOM.
XCOM. Is that your guess?
Yes.
XCOM : Enemy Unknown.
Oh, good.
I was wrong. There's no colon.
XCOM: Enemy Unknown. That's you guys. You're making a comeback.
I think you gotta avoid the proper nouns though.
X was too easy.
Yeah.
X. Yeah, I should have probably used Y in that case, but yes. Okay, this game is really dear to me. It's probably one of the best games ever made that nobody's played. So we'll see if you guys can get this one. An epic third-person sci-fi action shooter from the critically acclaimed game director Shinji Mikami. Become the ultimate weapon with an unrivaled battlesuit combining deadly firepower with superhuman speed and agility. Fast, fluid, frenetic, storm into battle and experience high-octane gaming at its most explosive and exciting.
I mean, I don't think this is the answer, but from the description, it sounds like Revengeance. But I just also have Metal Gear. I have Kojima on my mind.
Was Shinji Mikami involved in Revengeance?
I don't think so. That's why I don't think it's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This game is it's a Sega published game.
Okay. I have no clue. I'm not familiar with these type of
no clue
developers.
Okay. Platinum Games made it.
Wait. Is it like a 2B or something like this? With the robots. And
this is PS3.
PS3. No, I don't know. I've not played that much on PS3, so I'm really behind.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll say this: there is I think a remake, but I don't think you'll guess it. So I'll tell you what it is, but you'll have to play it one day, hopefully. Mm-hmm. It's called Vanquish.
I still don't know.
You don't know what that is?
Yeah,
it's a really good game, by the way.
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, Platinum. I'll play some old school Platinum, definitely.
Okay, we have 2 more games to go. So one of them is released on the PS3, but I think it did come to the PS4. And I will say this: I'm sure you're going to guess this one. Okay. The truth will change you. To save his life after a deadly attack, Adam Jensen had no choice but to become physically.
The proper nouns, man. The proper nouns.
Why do we have to wait until the end?
Yeah.
Wait, because the audience needs to also be part of the game, right?
That's true.
So Adam Jensen had no choice but to become physically augmented with cybernetics. Driven by his need for answers, he soon finds himself chasing down leads all over the world. The choices he makes as he unravels a vast conspiracy will help determine the fate of humanity. Okay.
Human Revolution.
Manu, what's your guess the same?
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, Human Revolution, baby.
Oh, no, it's not the OG.
No, the OG is J.C. Denton.
Yeah.
And they're making a remake, or not a remaster, not a remake now. Okay. Which, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't actually look that great, but I love those games.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, they did a good remaster of the System Shock 2, I think.
Yeah, people like that. I didn't play it, but people like that.
Yeah.
Okay, my friends, last game. The Knife of Dunwall assumed the role of Daud, legendary assassin who killed the Empress, in his search for redemption. The Brigamore Witches, as Daud, face off against the Brigamore Witch, Coven, and decide whether your fate will end with redemption or darkness.
Dishonored Path of the Outsider, or something of the Outsider.
Okay, how about you, Manu?
Yeah, I mean, Dishonored something. I don't know the name.
Dishonored something.
Yeah.
Something of the Outsider, I think.
Okay.
What it was called.
It is Dishonored.
Oh, well, but you just described the plot of the DLC, not the main game.
Shit. So, okay, sorry. This is the definitive edition.
Yeah.
The text includes additional stuff here.
It started with the last paragraph.
Oh, yeah. Well. We'll continue to do better, gentlemen. But yeah, you guys got like, I think you did like, it was only one game. There was only Vanquish that you couldn't.
Yeah, Vanquish really did it.
Yeah. I mean, you did guess, you had the game on your tongue with Zone of the Enders.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, it is time to dive into SteamDB and check out what's happening there.
What's up, man? Let's see how we doing.
I love how it's like as if we have a business here and we're like, trying to figure out.
Our business is SteamDB. Yeah.
That's our business. I would love to buy SteamDB one day. We'll see if that can happen. But okay, gentlemen, what's going on here? I mean, of course, the usual suspects of Counter-Strike and Dota at the very top.
And Bongo Cat, always Bongo Cat.
The forever giving Bongo Cat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't remember the name of the game, so I have to go very low to find it. Night. What is it? The new
Hightail.
No.
Or Highguard.
No, it's not there. Highguard.
Yeah, that's not going to be on the top play.
Do you want to talk about that game already? I'll let you.
It's more in the context that we don't talk often about Apex Legends, but it's still always top 5, top 10, and it didn't blink with the release of Highguard, which is from some of the devs of Apex and from Respawn are there. So I think Apex Legends is now it's gonna be close to a 7-year anniversary in sometime mid February, and it's still there. It's just it had a peak at some point, then it's super stable. If you look at the curve for the last
2 years almost.
Yeah, many live service would love to have such an engagement curve.
Yeah,
2 years in a row, 7 year in, between 5 and 7 year in. So that's testimony that the game is there and it's not going anywhere. I think that's quite impressive. I think people always have the idea that it should be at the peak like it was in 2023, but it is not a bad performance to be constantly at 250. And there are only so many games that stays all the time in the top 10 of Steam. We've seen many come and go, but it's there. Other Rivals is also there. Let me just 24-hour peak. Some Other Rival also has quite a good performance. PUBG, Dota 2, Counter-Strike 2, you're never going to get them out of it, probably. Temporary, yes, but not more than that.
Yeah.
Also, Rust, always there. These games are just forever games somehow. It's like they have found their audience. The gameplay is not changing that much. They are not in a growing mode when it comes to content. But yeah, it's doing well. Delta Force also is still there. Delta Force saw Battlefield 6 coming and then dropping and to be honest, almost disappearing right now. It's 27.
This is when Battlefield showed up, I guess.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. But also there was an important event in September. Yeah,
okay.
I think they need more, otherwise it might struggle. But it's still enough to be in the top 10, top 15. What else? 5M.
Said 5M.
What is 5M? Right.
Is that a tool or what is that? Oh, this is. Sorry, go ahead.
It's for GTA 5. It's a kind of private servers for GTA 5. And if you look at GTA 5, if you add everything from GTA 5, so you have 5M, you have GTA 5 Legacy and GTA 5 Enhanced. And if you add everything together, you are close to 150. That would put them in number 3 or number 4.
Interesting.
Just look at the top and you can add the numbers.
Yeah.
Should I just pick Enhanced, or is there differences here, or are they the same?
Enhanced and Legacy are 2 different SKUs. It is kind of the same game, but it just shows all the people playing a version of GTA 6 right now, and this is even excluding their own launcher. So basically, GTA 5 doesn't show, but it's above. So wait, let me check. GTA 187.
You'll have to help me here. Where do I click to see the comparison I made?
Top right, blue.
Top right.
No?
Did I just...
It's called compare, but you need to select more than one.
Let's see.
So if you add all of the 3 Grand Theft Auto 5 experience, you are above 300,000. 24-hour peak, which put it in number 4 above Arc Raiders. As simple as that.
What is this? Okay, here we go. So this is the Legacy, and then we also see the 5M, but obviously I need to add one more.
Yeah, 5M was just kind of... It existed, but it was released recently. But it's just 1 exe ultimately, but SteamDB is able to track the 3 different experiences.
Can you explain to us, like, is this a legal thing? Like,
yeah. I mean, you remember recently that Rockstar or 2K they started the monetization of the mods, and this is what is happening. It's helping, and then obviously the noise about GTA 6. I still have my bet. Oh no, it's not a bet; it's a prediction based on just no external knowledge or inside information. That GTA 6 will it be a 2026 title or not? That's just a big question.
Wow. But right now, I think was it slated for later this year, or?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, currently that's what they're saying.
Cannot be more confirmed than that.
Got it. Okay. Any other comments, thoughts? Terraria made it up to the top.
Yeah. I was wondering, has that? I definitely recognize the logo being around. Has it been that high recently, though?
Which one?
I mean, it
Terraria. It looks like it had a big bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A major bump over the past 3 years.
Yeah, wow. I remember they like finished their narrative at some point relatively recently, but I feel like it was long, or it could always just be a sale too, right?
Final update.
I don't know.
It's a final update and collaboration with Dead Cell and Palworld.
Wait, with Palworld?
Yes.
So maybe I need to get some footage out of this.
It's a massive. I remember playing Terraria at launch. Oh my god, I feel old.
Dave, do you play Terraria, or have you played Terraria?
I've tried a couple times. I tried both times on Switch. First, when I first got the Switch, so a long time ago, the controls were basically unusable at that point. I know that they have updated their Switch controls since then, but I only tried it briefly. One of those things where you're sitting on the couch and you try it for 5 minutes and you just can't switch your brain to keep playing. I mean, people love it, and I do like this kind of game, so I'd love to keep trying.
Over 100 changes and updates in this video that we're watching together. Manu, any additional comments or thoughts about Terraria specifically?
No, not really. I mean, it's a good game and some sort of like Minecraft, 2D Minecraft. I mean, but I've not played recent. I mean, the version of the game I played is probably 10% of what it is right now, so I cannot really judge. But it just seems to be.
And if I remember from one of our older comments about both Terraria and Stardew Valley, is that they have provided so much content over the past 10 years with no paid DLC or paid microtransactions or anything like that, which is amazing.
Similar to Stardew, actually, and that they've managed to maintain their relevance for so long with only a retail purchase.
Absolutely. Terrific. Okay, let's go back. I think we might be done with the SteamDB conversation.
Well,
let me have a look at what I had planned. I think we can jump into the two main topics, and I'll let you guys decide if those are the two main topics or not. As per our highlights in the newsletter today, we have two items: Ubisoft details major company reset, and then the other one is Highguard. I think I would love to talk about Highguard first, if that's okay with you. I know you wanted to talk about that when we were looking at the numbers as well. But there's a lot of things happening with Highguard, and I think you posted an article today from let me just get that, because I feel like it was very well written. Aftermath is their name, right? They had a really good aftermath.site. They had a really good article talking about the symptoms of kind of like, I guess, internet culture in many ways as well.
Yeah.
But I think, gentlemen, if you can, in many ways, if you can just start by breaking down, I mean, what is Highguard? What happened? Why is this a thing that we're talking about today?
So Highguard is a hero shooter developed by a studio which is from developers of Respawn, so Apex Legends, Titanfall. And that's one of the first positive and negative, because when you say you come from Respawn, people expect another Apex Legend or another Titanfall. So that's one thing. People are disappointed if it's not a Titanfall because EA doesn't seems to want to commit to a Titanfall 3 or anything else at this point. At the same time, you have the pedigree of ever having developed this game. So as I say, it's positive and negative from that standpoint. It's a hero shooter, which might be seen as negative because a lot of people are claiming that they don't want more hero shooters. We all remember the failure of Concord. I think people very quickly compare that with the failure of Concord, but they didn't compare that with the success of Marvel Rivals, which is still ultimately also a hero shooter. So I don't know. The other thing is that this game was planned to be shadow dropped, so no communication about it till the day it's released, so exactly like Apex Legends. But something happened at the Games Award with Geoff Knightley, and someone decided that it would be the last game to be revealed during the show, which caused probably way more damage than anything could. It created like super negative awareness because it felt underwhelming. And then the toxicity of internet, it's basically people felt like they need to hate this game because it was not what they were expecting as a closing of the show. And that's absolutely silly and toxic and stupid. I think it's also a share of player which is very vocal. It's always the same. You end up giving them too much attention, and only the numbers they talk. But unfortunately, the start was not bad, like 100,000 players on Steam. But what it feels is like once the American players went to sleep, Asia didn't pick up. Because usually you can see that in some very global popular games that Asia is picking up. And you didn't see that here, which show that it's going to be very difficult to get back from there. We saw that with Apex. Apex was very popular in Western world and in the US at the beginning. Then after a few years, it became more popular in Japan and in Asia. But I'm not sure this game has the legs and the budget to wait until something happens in another part of the world. And ultimately, while there are many good ideas, I think the feedback is that it feels more like a patchwork of existing ideas from other games rather than really true innovation. And I think there's, from a pure gameplay perspective, I'm not sure it's completely fully tinkered and ready to be instantly played. Unlike Apex Legend at launch was already kind of a perfect battle royale game. It didn't need that much after that to become better. But I think here it almost feels more like there is more to do from a gameplay and balance standpoint. So all of these crossing together make their life very difficult, even if it's ultimately not a bad game at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the not shadow dropping, that's really tough because that would have also like sort of instantly tied it closer to Apex Legends in people's minds, which is its main advantage here. But and then the Titanfall thing, I think that if you've already, as we've discussed many times, it's really hard to get people to pay attention to anything in the modern era. And if you've already made like the questionable decision that you're gonna like develop and release a video game for some reason, then I just think you got to use every advantage that you can to get anyone to notice. And leaving anything on the table it's just going to hurt you. And in this case, that would be Titanfall. Like you have this thing that people want to see more of, that people are interested in. And that is rare. Most people don't have that, and like the Titanfall, as we've seen, Apex Legends exists within the Titanfall fiction. If you're going to call it Titanfall, you kind of need Titans in there. But you still have a huge amount of leeway with what game you want to make. You could make something, that resembled this gameplay more, and put it inside the Titanfall fiction. That would be okay. But like, I just feel like if you have especially like an attention asset, something that is just going to like give you an identity that people are interested in, it's just foolish not to use it.
Gentlemen, I have a couple of questions I would love to get your feedback on, because I'm looking at the footage right now. This is as much footage as I've ever seen, and it looks very impressive. I can see some of the DNA from Respawn and former Call of Duty makers, and the shooting mechanics and all these things. And of course, you spoke about Apex Legends, and I can see some of that as well. So the execution, from an execution perspective, from a quality perspective, it does look really, at least what I'm seeing right now, looks very impressive. And in many ways, it also looks fun and unique in its own right, so to say. I think my immediate takeaway or like, conclusion is like, do we really need another hero shooter? Not because I'm opposed to it. It's more like we have so many already. Can the market sustain another one?
Yeah.
I mean, not another like super similar one, like
we didn't know we needed a new extraction shooter until Arc Raiders came. Is there room for Arc Raiders? Well, actually, there is plenty of room. Yes, it's just the room is being taken from maybe Call of Duty and from Helldivers probably. But that's so. I think there is always room for good games, but you need to tick a lot of boxes, and it doesn't mean that you are expanding the audience. You're just getting the same players that they want to break from something. Arc Raiders also appeal to the basic shooter looter players, the players that would play Borderlands or things like that, because it's about looting, crafting, improving your equipment. The only difference here is that there is a risk that you die at the end of your run. But in the same time, the same way that in an MMO it's also, you can also die as a character. So it's just like a non-persistent MMO somehow. I actually like this definition.
No, just to add to what you're saying, I think for me the Arc Raiders question, it solved two things in some ways. One of them is bringing it to a wider audience, because Tarkov, I was talking to a hardcore Tarkov player who views Arc Raiders as a casual game, even though for me, I wouldn't say it's a casual game, but I would say it's like a mid-tier thing, just like how Battlefield is, maybe as a shooter. So it filled the gap, but it's approachable and accessible, not in the way that we talk about accessibility normally, but accessibility as in like, anybody can pick it up and play it. But I think if I just go back to Highguard specifically, I think I'm sure they had a community that they tested the game with, and like, had regular playtests. But I just wonder if the approach should have been from the get-go to have like an early access, playing it with the community and growing that over time, rather than coming out of nowhere and saying, hey, here's the game. That's kind of like my takeaway here. Dave, I would love to hear from you.
I still think shadow dropping would have tied it to Apex Legends, because people remember when that happened. It was very exciting when that happened. Again, you want to use the tools you have in your wheelhouse, and Apex Legends is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So psychologically tying yourself to that, I think, would have been a huge boon. For me, I just want to see something that is further removed, basically. Gonna be honest, I don't know what the basic gameplay is here, except for like what I'm looking at here. But like, I would love to see something where, I don't know, where just a different kind of objective, or I don't know. Like I can't really comment that much without having played this. But I think that you need to be just a little bit further removed from the product that defines your brand. And looking at the Game Awards reveal, looking at this, I don't see something that is far enough removed from Apex Legends. That's not fair without knowing more about it. But then again, most people who might potentially play it do not know more about it.
Yeah. Can you begin and just define, what is shadow drop? When you say the word shadow drop, what do we mean by that specifically?
Like what happened with Apex Legends. You make the announcement and you say available now. And the first time anyone hears about it is when they can play it. Apex Legends did it pretty interestingly. And I mean, they were some of the kind of pioneers with that style, at least with a game on this scale. And they combined their available now with a heavy influencer push. So that this was when a new battle royale was still like interesting, right? This is when people like that was still a very present phenomenon. And then like a huge number of the top battle royale influencers were playing Apex Legends at that moment. And that was and it was the Super Bowl, I think. And that was super effective.
I think if I remember correctly, at the time, Ninja was probably the biggest streamer. And I think the numbers that were being thrown around is like, I think that takeover, it was almost like a week takeover of Twitch and all the content creators. And I think that maybe that budget was like $10 million or something around that number. I'm not sure, but it was absolutely a takeover. So just, sorry, Manu, I'll let you in. Just to kind of course correct, I don't feel like it's a shadow drop. It's like a takeover drop if in many ways, if that makes sense. Manu.
Oblivion was also a shadow drop.
Yeah,
No streaming or anything, just the sake of the strength of the IP. It's not a new IP. And I think when you're building a new IP, it's super expensive. You know that you need a lot of time to establish your IP even before releasing, or you just do this. You save all your marketing money for the launch, and you put your marketing money in the influencer. But it can only work if it's like a multiplayer game. If it's a single player game, it's not streamable. So there's no point in paying streamers to play Oblivion.
I would challenge that idea. What if they what if what's his face, Eric Barone, shadow dropped like Stardew 2? What if Stardew 2 got shadow dropped? Not saying that he's making that. Obviously, he's making the chocolate thing, but like I think that there would be room to shadow drop a big single player game like that too.
Yeah, but that's not a new IP if it's a number 2.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
And just to point out here, I believe the devs behind Highguard are independent. It's not like they have a big publisher behind them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, so and there would be even more reason to tie it to Apex, like psychologically, right? Because if you can't do it actually, then you figure out ways around that.
And yeah, they cannot really use the Apex brand neither because that they don't own. There is no relationship with that. It's property of EA, so there's no way you can use that as a promotion thing, like by the creator of Apex Legend or something like that. It's difficult to use.
Yeah.
EA would do that for the next game from Respawn, but other people,
I would say, just do it and say sorry later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna work. I don't think EA has got any lawyers. They're probably busy.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sure they are. Gentlemen, any other comments about Highguard, or do you want to move over to the next topic?
I mean, it's still interesting because ultimately you have to compare that with the launch of Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is also from Patrick Soderlund, so from more DICE people, also ex-EA, more working on Battlefield and other games. And it was successful, and it's part of the campaign, part of the introducing like a gameplay that is different from anything we've seen before. And the polish, the world building is great in Arc Raiders. Even if there is no single player story, you feel like it's a very interesting take on a futuristic world. Where here I'm not sure about the lore. It feels heroic fantasy, but it's not really clear what it is about. It's very colorful again. I think the more color you add, the less special you are in general. Even if Marathon, for example, there are a lot of colors, but there's a style. There is a graphic style. You can instantly tell it's Marathon. I think for Arc Raiders, you can instantly tell it's Arc Raider. Here, it could be MOBA, shooter, Smite, or something like this, or Overwatch. You don't have this uniqueness from a design standpoint, visual design.
Like I think you could have a colorful game that was visually distinct, but this is not it.
It looks like Ark also. I know in Ark you ride dinosaurs, and here you ride horses. But yeah.
Trying to find some of the names behind the studio. But yeah, they worked on the biggest, both EA and Activision games, ranging from Call of Duty and Titanfall and Apex. what I'm interested in actually, and the reason I'm on this site right now is trying to figure out who's funding this company.
I mean, clearly someone.
I mean, this is a pretty big operation. I think they're like 6,200 people at this point. But it would be interesting to understand where is the money coming from, and the logic, or rather because I do believe the team's obviously very talented and have pulled off a very high level product. But I'm just wondering, like, from a investment point of view, what was the kind of like reasoning apart from the awesome people? Okay, good points, gentlemen. I agree with you as well on the art style. It could have been like something else, but it is what it is. The other highlight that we have today is Ubisoft. There's a major company reset. 6 games canned, 7 delayed, and 2 studios closed. And I believe there's another story or news piece about some of the what are they called, the workforce. My words, help me out here, Dave. The people who band together and what is that called? Unions. Thank you. There's a worldwide union call, something about Ubisoft, but I'll hand it over to you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good that they reviewing their gaming portfolio, because it felt like there was not a clear strategy. So it's never bad to refocus. What will be the implication of canceling so many games? I guess there will be studio implication, dev implication on that one. I mean, they already had discussion and an agreement with Tencent about their key franchises. So I guess it's also. And,
you mean that venture that they created? Well, that's already done. Like, that deal is done, and they've moved the IPs into that new company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, other than that, it's never great, I guess, for the people working for Ubisoft, because it doesn't feel very clear. But yeah.
It doesn't seem to have ever been great for the people working for Ubisoft, to be honest. Even when they're doing well, it just seems like a rough shop, so to speak.
Trying to look for the amount of people who work at Ubisoft, because here we go, 17,000 people,
and that's probably Ubisoft employees. Codev Studios is gonna skyrocket,
plus a couple thousand. But I mean, the crazy thing is here, like, I look at this number, 17,000 people. What games are Ubisoft releasing this year?
I mean, your question is a complicated goal.
Shadow.
Every new Ubisoft game in development right now.
I mean, they still have live service, obviously, like Rainbow Six Siege, things like that.
Oh, yeah, we don't know. I mean, we assume they're making an Assassin's Creed game.
Potentially Far Cry, potentially Rainbow Six.
Yeah, it's been a little while since Far Cry.
Far Cry, I think it's in the work. Yes, I've read some stuff about Far Cry 7, and it's not clear what it will be exactly in terms of gameplay or feature, but yes.
When it comes to the finances of the company, do you have any insight in terms of like how well the company's doing these days? Revenue versus
I mean, just watch the earning report. I think
it's bad.
I'm not saying it's bad, but the information is there, and the problem with the big publisher, it's becoming more and more complicated to benchmark, because you don't have Activision, you don't have EA to benchmark against anymore. They are not public, so you cannot position that.
Any other thoughts about Ubisoft?
We hope we get a Division 3. I mean, I think the Division one was
Massive
very
just
successful.
did big layoffs too, though.
Sorry?
Didn't they? Massive just did big layoffs too.
Yeah, but I mean, there is something with the Division that I think there is more potential than what has been accomplished. Even if the Division 1 was very successful, I think the Division 2 felt too much more of the same. and didn't go the next level of co-op shooter and potentially PvPvE. Like Arc Raider is. There is a world where the Division could have been Arc Raiders, Could have
Yeah,
been.
I mean, we forget that the Division did invent the extraction shooter. Definitely.
I would add to what you're saying, which is like I feel like that was a major missed opportunity with the Division not doubling down on the live service of it. I know for the first game, I mean, because I had a friend of mine who was a community manager, they had a bigger team managing that game from a communication point of view, from a live service point of view. But it feels like with the second one, there was a drop off, and maybe there was that kind of like split focus on other titles while they work out.
The second one had some real structural issues that made it difficult to operate as an MMO. Because for one thing, what I remember was that like the sort of what you could consider the opening part, the missions that get you into the end game, are like 30 to 40 hours long, and that's just really hard to get someone to stick around for the loot grind when they've already done that. And then like, yeah, no, it's just it's an interesting example of like it's like LinkedIn post fodder, right? That the Division was a cool game, and they had people that were interested in it, and they had this one portion of it which was incredibly captivating and new and interesting, and people wrote a lot about it. And that's the Dark Zone, the extraction shooter.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I think what they should have done is reform the Division 3 really more focused on that, instead of making another. They made another Division game. They made a sequel to the Division 2 that was very recognizable. To the Division 1 that was very recognizable. And what I think, and everything's hindsight, of course, but what they should have done was recognize how captivating people found the Dark Zone and expand that into what became the extraction shooter.
Absolutely.
There is a fundamental challenge for. I keep comparing the Division with Arc Raiders. Now that I've played a lot of Arc Raiders, and it's about the enemy.
Backpack games. Games where you got a big backpack.
And it's about the enemies in the Division. It's kind of human enemies. It's not realistic. You shoot them until you kill them. They have a life bar,
Bullet sponges.
Exactly. Yeah. While in Arc Raiders, it's robots that have more layers of steel to protect them, and there are ways. It's a bit like Monster Hunter in the sense that if you hit the right spot in the strong enemies in Arc Raiders, you can down them faster. In the Division, I think you can only headshot maybe, and that helps. But I think that's super exciting in Arc Raiders is to be smarter than the enemy, and it also reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is the same. You cut parts of this animal robots, and by being smarter, you go faster, basically. And it's the same with Arc Raiders, and that the mastery is coming from there, is that understanding the weak points, and that makes it the PvE part so much more interesting than the PvE part in the Division.
Yeah, just that basic encounter, right? The way your brain is functioning, it's not shoot the guy. It's where do I shoot the guy? Am I at a range where I can reliably target the boosters or whatever? That like it just makes it so much more interesting.
And the Borderlands is the same problem. What how do you call that? Saka PV, Casey, the bullet sponge. Bullet sponge.
Bullet sponge, yes.
Borderlands is the same, but I think it all comes down to the fact that once humans are involved, you don't have that freedom. So you do your PV, your extraction shooter, your shooter looter, just go with non-human. Don't go realistic. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, and I think overall, like robots are great because robots are made of metal, and it's pretty easy to understand. Like I'm going to shoot this plate off, and there's going to be some wires underneath there, stuff like people understand that,
And you can loot also so many different material and parts from a robot compared to a human.
Manu, you hit the nail on the head so well. I remember to this day the first trailer they launched for the Division, and the hype was off the chain, off the roof, call it whatever you want. Especially that the moment when you're like walking in the snow in New York City, and there's so much garbage and stuff around, almost like Resident Evil style of detail. And then there's a firefight and the guy goes behind the door and closes the door. That thing on its own became such a huge thing. And then the game comes out and you shoot people and they don't react or die, and the bullet sponging. That's the only reason I did not play that game beyond the first 2-3 hours, which is a really good point. However, there was still a dedicated community that really appreciated that game, but I think to Dave's point, they absolutely did botch or miss the opportunity on expanding on the Lost Zone. Is it the Lost Zone or Dark Zone?
Dark Zone.
Dark Zone, thank you.
Yeah, and then also when you're doing the MMO thing, like a realistic MMO loot grind in these things is so weird, because it's like, why is this M16 like 20 times more powerful than this one? Like, it just doesn't make any sense, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's what's good about Arc Raiders in terms of it's not just about the power. It's all about the detail of the recoil and all these other elements and the grips and all that type of stuff that help you in becoming more accurate with your shots. Okay, well, I hope Ubisoft does come back and makes games again. I assume, hope. Manu, I will ask this once, and then I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out if you want to continue the episode, or if you feel like there's anything. Is there anything else here on this list that you'd like to talk about? Otherwise, I feel like we've been going for a while, but I'll leave it up to you to decide.
Let me check quickly.
There is Nintendo Switch. There is AI slop stuff.
I say eventually we're going to get a negative headline about Larian, but that day has not come yet. Larian announces everything is awesome for them.
Yeah.
RuneScape. Go ahead.
I think it's one of my favorite topics. It's a very negative one, but SSD prices, my follow RAM pricing, everything is going to be more expensive from a hardware standpoint. And right now we see PC gamers are starting to complain because the RAM is much higher, but you have RAM everywhere. You have this chip everywhere. You have this chip in mobile phones. You have this chip in console. Expect the price to keep going up for every gaming hardware. Just to be clear, this is gonna be by phase, but ultimately it will have an impact because the entry barrier will increase on the.
Not just that, Manu. I mean,
well, and then when China invades Taiwan, it's all going sideways.
Yeah.
I was looking at the running shoes a couple days ago, and it's like $200. I was like, get the hell out of here! This is Adidas.
I get it, but the running shoes is not related to the hardware you need for AI. Okay.
Well, what I'm trying to get to is that the world,
when the AI expands, you need to run away.
Yeah, you need to run from the AI.
You run in the wheel because you have to produce electricity.
Exactly.
Guys, the world is going mad. Okay, on so many fronts. But I guess to take it back, a shoe doesn't need to cost $200. Like, there's no logic to that. The material, the entire production of that shoe is probably maximum $100.
I know. I would argue that a shoe should never have cost $50, and that $200 is probably a much more reasonable cost considering the human cost that brings it to you. But that we should all be more comfortable in living lives in which it is capable of doing things like that.
Just going bare feet.
Exactly.
That's the way to go. Okay, gentlemen. I guess this concludes the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was fun to talk to both of you and learn more about Highguard and the Division and everything else. If you have made it this far, please don't forget, subscribe, like, follow, all these things that I hate to ask you to do, but please do them because it helps us, supposedly, or I've been told. Of course, go to guysweekly.substack.com, Games Industry Executive Summary. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next week.
See you.
See you.